Here. Okay, welcome, welcome. I'm so thrilled. Here she is. She just jumped in. I'm so thrilled to have you with us tonight. I am Melissa Shaver, and this, if you know anything about me, you know that this is my favorite night of the month because we get to sit here just in conversation, kind of get into some of my beautiful friends' brains and understand their values and how they're aligned and why this is good for them. And what I love about these nights is that you may be like I was years ago whenever I was looking at this business. You know, we're just really curious. First and foremost, I want to thank you for being curious, having a curious mind. Thank you for leaning in and wanting to hear a little bit. What I hope is going to happen tonight is that you are going to be able to hear maybe some things that you're questioning yourself. You're going to get to hear from some of our friends tonight. And I hope that it answers some questions for you. I know for me, I had a lot of questions. I come from corporate America background. I was very competitive from a salary standpoint. I knew exactly what I could do to make a specific salary. So for me, from that business-minded stepping into this space, I wanted to know what this had to offer me. And I also want to know the culture of this space in corporate America. Those things were a little bit heavy as far as culture, and sometimes the culture was negative. And I wanted to come into a space that empowered and encouraged and loved. And so those were just some of the questions I had. And I think I love this business so greatly because if you're curious and you lean into it, you can learn those things quickly. One of the things in all these years, whenever I'm looking at businesses or I'm speaking with people about businesses, I always say you want to look at a couple of things. You want to look at the product. Is it solid? Is it good? Really does bring information. You always want to be able to look at corporate and the executives. Are they men and women of integrity? Where do they come from? What do they desire? Do they look at the field and the people? That was a really big piece for me in corporate America. You sometimes don't humanize people. And so those are all areas that are really big. And then, of course, culture. So I'm hoping that you're going to get to hear a lot of those things tonight. And be able to sit back and relax. So thank you for being with us. And I am going to get started with one of my friends, Angela Webb. I'm so glad that she is on with us tonight. I want you to know a little bit about her as we get going. Angela is a wife, a mom, a believer in Jesus Christ. She is in corporate America, and she is still in corporate America. She is one of the top leaders in our company. And I want you to hear her story in regards to that. She's still doing both. She's a top leader in this company as well as in corporate America. She's manager of HR for a global energy company. And so I'm really thrilled to have her with me. So Angela, oh, there you are. I was like, I know you're on here. I see your sweet face. We have so many wonderful guests on tonight. But I wanted to ask you just real quick how you heard about Plexus and what about it made sense for you to actually start this business?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I was probably like 2 or 3 minutes late. I could not get onto the Zoom for some reason, so sorry about that.
That is okay. We waited for you.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. So thank you for the warm intro, Melissa. What attracted me to the business? Most of you probably know Robin Sullivan. She is one of my closest friends, and at that point, back in 2014 is when I started. She had been taking Plexus products for about 9 months at that point, and she had slimmed down and she was feeling good and looking good, and just, I mean, she had all the confidence in the world, even more confidence because she's already just naturally a confident person. Mm-hmm. But what caught my attention was when she decided to walk away from her career as an assistant principal to pursue Plexus as a full-time career. That really got my interest, caught my attention. At the time I had a 9-month-old, new mom. I was juggling just being a new mom and working full-time and all of the stress that comes with that. And still adjusting, as far as our income was concerned, we were still adjusting to the expense of a baby, because y'all know babies are expensive. And I just remember feeling like, man, I'm making a decent income, but I don't have any extra. We didn't have any margin at all. And so when Robin walked away to pursue Plexus full time, I said, you know what, there must be something to this, because Robin is a smart person and she's not going to take a leap like this unless it's actually, a legit thing, right? This opportunity. So that's how I got started.
I love that. And I love your whole thing. A lot of, stepping into this business, for many of us, we stepped in because of someone else and the respect that we had for that person.
Yeah.
And you already knew her. I love how you said, like, she wouldn't just quit her job for this. There had to be more to it.
Yeah.
I was the same way. Mine was Rozalyn Payne, and we're going to actually be hearing from her tonight, but it was the same thing with her. It was like, okay, if she is doing this, she's such a bottom line person. She's not going to do anything, that goes against integrity, things like that. And so that's what made me lean in. So I love that about you. I wanted to ask you real quick, because you are still in corporate America and you have a very active family. You're very active in your church. How does this business align with your values? Because that's a really big piece, especially you have grown a large business. You're at the top of our company. So I know that in some way it had to align. Can you share a little bit about that with me?
Yeah, sure. So I'll tell you that prior to trying Plexus products for myself, I had tried, other products. I'd done other cleanses and things like that. And so health and wellness already was something that I cared about. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm like a super fit person and I work out 7 days a week or anything like that. But I've always been conscious of my health and trying to have, lead a healthy lifestyle. So that obviously is definitely a value of mine. I'll tell you, transparently in the Black community specifically, we have so many just underlying issues that, health issues that date back, generations. And those health issues still plague us today. And so, I feel like Plexus was brought into my life to be vocal about the fact that it doesn't have to be this way, right? I mean, those underlying issues can be healed. And so the health aspect for sure. Second was, so many of us are, degreed and, multiple degrees at that, and earning good income, sometimes double income if you're married, and still robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? Our kids are in all kinds of select this and that, and we just have bills, and sometimes there's more month than money. And I don't know a single person that I know personally that could not benefit from an extra stream of income. Extra income enables us to save more, save for a rainy day, give more, just do the things that otherwise we're just unable to do. And I'll give you one example. This hasn't been perfect, so I don't want to, make you think that it's been all roses by any means. But this extra income has created an opportunity for my husband to pursue entrepreneurship himself. Oh, wow. And so he started his own business June 1st. And again, it has not been all rainbows and unicorns. Okay. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all. But I can tell you with certainty that we would be bankrupt if not for this extra income with Plexus. So things are picking up now. So, by the grace of God, I'm really happy for him, and, things are going in the right direction now. But just things like that, right? That we would never be able to do and pursue if not for, a good, solid extra stream of income. Right.
And it's so true too. I think that so many people have desires to do other things, but a lot of times we are locked into jobs, corporate America, things that we don't love to do because we do have to pay the bills. And to know that this has given you the benefit and the joy of stepping out there and doing some other things. Everything we do is a risk, right? So I appreciate your honesty on it hasn't been easy and it hasn't been perfect, but to know that y'all have the ability to fail forward is huge in itself. And so that's such a big piece. And I think that that's what I love so much also about what we do. And we're going to talk about that with you basically doing two jobs of being in HR and being able to run an organization as large as yours. And it's this whole thing on social selling and e-commerce. And I do feel like so many people are really tuning in and turning that ear a little bit to say, okay, what is going on? Because of the struggles that we've been through over the last, well, almost 2 years now of just working through and trying to figure it out. And we have seen that social selling has increased when we've seen in other areas that businesses have failed or decreased or had to close. Online businesses have been able to thrive in that space. And so that's been a really great piece for us. Tell me a little bit, because I know that this industry is different than anything else from a business standpoint. So whether you're working corporate America, you're a stay-at-home mom, you do nonprofit ministry, things like that, you have to be willing to learn new skill sets to be successful, just like anything else that we do. So tell me a little bit from a learning opportunity for you, what have you learned through this business, and maybe what are some key components of being successful? If somebody were looking into this business to say, can I do what she does? What would that be? What did you have to learn? What did you have a learning curve on? And then what do you think are some components for success?
Okay. So many things. I think that, a lot of times when people see or, consider a business like this, they automatically think they have to be good at sales, or they have to be a salesperson. They have to be an extrovert. They have to work, sun up to sundown. They have to go door to door. They have to, whatever it is. And that has been one of the most, I think this business, this opportunity has evolved so much from the Amway days, right? Or from the early, Mary Kay days, because everything we do is on social media now, right? And so I think if you have social media and Wi-Fi and a gut, you can do this business. Truly, you can do this business. I was told recently, and I won't say who it was, but I was told recently that I'm an extrovert, but I'm not a people person. Meaning that I like to do all things. I like to go, I like to travel, but if you stick me in the middle of a room of people that I don't know, I'm not going to work the room. I'm probably going to find a corner. I'm going to find somebody that I know and feel comfortable with. And so that's also a misconception, that you have to be an extrovert. You have to be this super duper people person with a huge network, or with thousands of Instagram followers. And that's simply not true. I have less than 2,000 Instagram followers, and I reached one of the, the top positions in the company. I think ultimately it's, do you love people? Do you want to help people? We are in a major health crisis right now, guys. And I mean, just helping someone or having the desire to help someone have more energy, go to the bathroom every day, just feel better overall. If you have any sort of desire like that, just genuinely wanting to help people feel better, this is the opportunity for you. If you're a creative person, if you are big on mindset, you don't feel like there's something in you, right? There's a dream within you, or there's something in you that is saying, you're supposed to be doing more. This is that opportunity sometimes for people, when you're sort of living small, but you know deep down that you should be doing more. This is a great opportunity, and you won't know it until you jump in, but this is a great opportunity to really break you out of your shell and live the full life that you want to live, that everyone deep down desires to live.
That's incredible. That's so good. First of all, I would have said you were an introvert. So to hear extrovert, but you don't, that was interesting how they said that to you, isn't it? But
yeah, I'm an extrovert, but not a people person.
You are a people person because you love really, really well. That's so interesting but that's fun. So did you feel that your transition was it for you to step into this business? Was it hard for you? Were you kind of like what you were just saying? I mean, you do have to get into it to figure it out, right? You can't just stay on the parameters.
Yeah.
But for you, did you just step straight into the business when you made that decision?
You know what? I will say this. Because like I said earlier, I had a friend, my friend Robin, who, she was doing this full time, full force. I did start out thinking, I want to do that too. But I'll tell you, I went from, I want to do that too, to man, this is hard. Oh, wait, I care about what people think about me. Oh, wait. This, she said this, or or they said that behind my back or whatever. And so it's been a journey. It has been a journey. And we say this often, and it's kind of cheesy and cliche, but it's so true that you just simply cannot pay your bills with other people's opinions. You just cannot. And at some point I got to a place where I'm like, I genuinely felt like that Plexus was brought into my life for a reason, that it was brought into my life for a reason. And I was going to do it because I can. And I resolved that the only way that I was going to fail is if I quit.
Yeah.
And so, has it been, again, rainbows and unicorns? No, but I haven't experienced any losses in this journey. I've only learned, or, I've had lots of victories, or I've learned, no losses.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, I want to introduce you guys to Rozalyn. I'm going to come back to Angela in a little bit, but I want you to hear from my friend Rozalyn. And she is the one who actually introduced it to me. She is someone that I believe just she thinks through what she does and why she does it. And I feel like she's one of those that her integrity and reputation is on the line. She's a businesswoman at heart. And so I'm so thankful that she's with us. But Rozalyn, I wanted to ask you, and all of a sudden you went super dark, child. I wanted to ask
a second. You. I'm trying to get this light on in this car.
Like
I'm in my friend's car here.
And then you got dark.
There we
go. Dinner tonight. There you are. I wanted to ask you in regards to the business. Did you start for the business or for the products in the beginning? What initially got you started?
Oh, it was 100% for the business. And it's interesting because a lot of times corporate will ask us, a group of jewels, they'll, just randomly say, how many in the room, jumped in because of the business? And you'll see a sparse amount.
Okay, I think we have lost her. Rozalyn, I don't know if you can hear me, but we fully lost you. You have been with us through this whole thing. I've been watching you, and now you're not with me. So I'm hoping that you can jump back in. One thing that Rozalyn was saying,
I can see you guys.
We can see you, Roz.
She is okay.
Okay. Melissa, I think it was you that was off. I'm just totally kidding.
I think I could have been. So I hope y'all heard.
Kidding.
Okay. I see Ebony saying, I think it's me. Okay. I'm glad y'all heard everything. So I heard you talking about corporate. So I hope everybody got to hear that part.
Yeah. Melissa, I was just telling everybody that I just jumped in, mainly just to fill a financial need that I needed. And it was because I was seeing my friends be so successful at it The whole time I kind of rolled my eyes and I thought, this is ridiculous. This is, they're just jumping off the bridge after a friend who's doing something cool. I'm from corporate America. I spent 19 years in advertising. I was a media director for ad agencies all around Dallas. And so, I just kind of sat on the sidelines and watched everybody. And I thought, oh, bless their hearts, all the stuff's going to just collapse. And, but I was proven so wrong because nothing bad was coming out of Plexus for my friends. They were getting healthy. They were financially just being blessed with this abundance for just literally hopping on social media and telling their story. And it was so simple that I felt like there had to be a catch. And I think a lot of people, feel that way, or they think they have preconceived notions of what they think network marketing is. I brought those notions to the game and I thought there's no way. And it wasn't until my husband said, babe, your friends are doing very, very well. My friend's been doing it for about 3 months at the time. And he said, why don't you give this a shot? And I thought, oh my gosh, not you two. Seriously. I hear it from my friends all the time. I'm so not interested. And he said, what if it could help Colton? And you mamas out there know the minute you're in a position where you have to fight for your child, you will knock down walls for that child. And it was this massive paradigm shift in that one moment of him saying, what if this could help Colton? Because y'all, the whole time I really sat back and thought, what are people going to think of me if I do this? This is so not me. I'm an executive. I have a degree. I've worked my way up the corporate ladder, all the things about me, but not for a second did I think of what this opportunity could do for my family, for my child, or how it could change the trajectory of our family. Never even thought of that. Didn't even, and it wasn't until my husband said, what if this could help Colton, that everything changed. And I thought, okay, all right, we're going to give this a try. I'll probably make a couple $100 and we're going to have to pray through the rest because I have no idea how this is going to work. And it just exploded.
Wow.
So that's why I did it.
Yeah. Well, and I love a couple of things that you said was, I think for all of us, we have an inward look of me. And it was, as this business is all about people. It's all about people relationships. And as soon as you look outward, that is what changed your perspective. And the other thing that I love that I just heard you say that I want all of us to grasp, and that's why I'm so grateful for our guests that are with us tonight, is that for so many, we come with a perspective. We come with our judgments and our thoughts towards an industry or a business, or I've always been traditional, or I have a degree, I should be doing something harder, things like that we think about. And I appreciate that, like, there were some areas for you that you had to change perspective. And I think that that's for all of us. I think that's part of the humanness, right? And for us to grow, we have to have that growth mindset. We have to say, what if? We have to allow ourselves to be open. And so again, to our guests that are with us, of just being open and hearing and maybe changing perspective and leaning in. I'm so grateful for that. Tell me a little bit, I was asking Angela a little bit earlier, and I really want to hear from you on this, as far as how this company and this business, how does it align with your personal values and just the way that you see life and how you portray your purpose in the work that you're doing?
Well, really what I think is really fascinating is that, I knew when I stepped into this business that as my business grew and I saw myself as a leader, that I thought, okay, there's some things that I wish I had seen in corporate America that I never saw. But being an independent ambassador and being able to own my own business of sorts, I can create my own culture. And I was bound to have a culture of high integrity, because in corporate America, there is a lot of shady behavior. And there were a lot of things that happened that I thought, you know what, if I ran a company, I would never have allowed that to happen, or allowed staff to, or coworkers or anything to, to speak to each other that way, or to manage in that way, or all the things. I would just sit back and I would be in awe that these companies were successful based on the way in which that they were run from behind the scenes. And I thought, if I own this company, how would I run it? So I had this opportunity. I stepped into this Plexus business. I thought I can set the culture, and this business, this team is going to do things the right way. This team is going to do things, with character. This team is going to do things, with honesty and integrity. And that aligned with corporate, because as I sat there convention after convention, I'm a corporate trainer. I train the dual ambassadors for our company, and sitting there in all of our pre-planning meetings and talking to, the president and the CEO, and having them just share their history was so much like mine in that sense, that they had this clean slate to, create this company that does things differently than everybody else, and that we can stand firm in our beliefs, and know that every time I come to work, I know I'm working for a company of quality and integrity. And I'm in awe every time I'm at corporate. I think I can't believe I work for a company like this. And I can't believe that the company is exactly the way I wish I could have run my own business, and that I actually get to run my own business in that way. So I'm in awe about it.
I love hearing you and Angela have perspectives, like your purpose, and you've done such a great job at it. Your purpose of, I would do the culture differently. Like, I've lived and had to go to a 9 to 5, which I know it was never 9 to 5 for you. It was longer than that. But I went into culture in space that was hard, and we didn't uplift each other. And there's a lot of stabbing in the back in industries across the board of different industries. And your whole thing was, I have the ability, and I have been blessed to lead in a way that I get to have a culture that sees the person and builds up the person. And then I hear Angela, this is why I'm doing this, and I want y'all to hear this, is because we all come for different things. But one thing that Angela said so passionately was her people, like, they have always, there's this passion of, our health is poor, and it's been generation to generation. And there's this education that she has of, I have the ability to serve from the standpoint of educating, of changing the generations to come. And that's what I love about this business, and I get so passionate about, is that we all have different purposes and passions, yet this business, especially this company, because of how corporate's set up, how our executives are set up, our God-given purposes and passions that just light us up, we can serve in a manner through this online business. So I absolutely love that. Tell me this, if somebody is with us tonight, or somebody later listens in on this, and they really are saying, I feel like in my gut, like, I need to go for it, I want to do this, but I'm a little bit fearful of moving from corporate America or traditional work or being a stay-at-home mom over into this online business. How would you encourage them of stepping into this? And what would be just a couple of steps that they could begin doing immediately?
I mean, I think the ease of being able to do this business while you're doing another business was key for me. I was working about 50, 60 hours a week when I stepped into this. And I knew, I used the excuse at the very beginning that I don't have time. I don't have time to do this, but you actually do. And the time that I found was at my lunch break. I was finding myself waking up an hour before my family. I was, instead of watching, Netflix binges at night, I would get back on and I would work my business before I went to bed. I found these areas in my day that I could work this business very simply, just with a post, just with sharing, just with a testimony. And with, at the time that I started this business, social media was a pretty new platform for network marketing. And so we were able to speak so quickly to so many thousands of people so fast and communicate. And we had all these resources and stories to pull from, that I could spend an hour in the morning just organizing my information, making a file on, on BioCleanse, a file on Slim, saving some good graphics. And then at my lunch break, boom, 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 I post them, send out some messages in the evenings, just follow up with people that reached out. And I was shocked when I saw that the ROI on this Plexus business was doubling and tripling what I was making, in advertising. And I started to scratch my head and think, wait a minute, if I put some true business acumen behind this Plexus thing, what if I really, really treated it like one of my businesses? What if I really put my blinders on and really put some effort behind this outside of just posting and throwing up some graphics? Then what could happen? And it was fascinating because it was so easy to do. And it was easy to do also in terms of, I felt confident in marketing these products. I have a son, he's on the autism spectrum. So he has a myriad of health issues, and he had a very restrictive diet. Well, everything in our line, I knew I could give to him. It was completely safe. So I knew I could step into this business with full integrity at any time. And everything I was saying about our products, that they were natural and gluten-free and all the things was true. And it was full truth. And so therefore I had such a boldness when I was sharing with people, because I could say, this is changing my son's life. These are products that my son can now take, and it's bettering his life. I could say it with such passion because it was true and I was living it. Never did I feel that passionate when I was advertising. When I worked for some of the biggest names in the world, British Airways, TGI Fridays, Owens Country Sausage. Never did I help them sell some sausages and feel anything that I was feeling working this Plexus business. It fulfilled me in a way nothing ever had, because I was actually doing something that helped other people, whether that be from a health standpoint or giving them just a lifeline to be able to make some income where they didn't have to take time away from their family. They could do it on their own. They could carve out time within their day that wasn't away from their children and didn't completely pull them away for a night shift waiting tables or picking up a speaking engagement or whatever it is you do as a professional that took so much time. I was able to almost automate this business so that I could do it in these nooks and crannies. And I got so much joy out of it that I started to want to do this more than I want to do my advertising. I worked my whole life in this, building this advertising career, and I was having so much more joy, and it was driving me so much more to do this Plexus business. And now, and that's when I bring new people in. I have a lot of people from my advertising world that are on my team now, and we'll all sit around and have dinner and just talk about it. We're all feel the exact same way. It's like, have you ever? I mean, anybody in here in insurance? Or are you, are you a healthcare professional? Or has there ever been a time that somebody has reached out to you and said, thank you for changing my life. Thank you for what you did, for what you were bold enough to share. I now walk into health. My doctor was telling me I was crazy because I was having these symptoms, and now I feel better. I can be a better mom. I can be a better wife. Never in all my years did I ever have any message like that from anybody in advertising. That feeling of being a conduit to changing somebody's life changed everything for me.
That's right. Yeah. I remember I had two questions for you. Is it gluten-free? Because I had to be gluten-free. And I knew if Colton was doing it, that I could do it. Is it gluten-free? And is there anything in it that would be addicting? Like, would I be addicted to it? That was a really big thing, because so many things, the only thing I knew about was people were losing weight. And I'm like, is this going to be something that's addicting? And you're like, oh no. And for any of you that are guests on here with us tonight, and you're like, okay, what is all of this? My friend called me into this. Plexus is a plant-based, we're supplemental. We look at gut health. We look at blood sugar stabilization, inflammation. We're gut health, brain health, hormone health, but it's all, such quality, strong ingredients, gluten-free, many things are dairy-free, lots of things are vegan. So all of from everywhere from crunchy all the way to I always eat fake foods that I know I need to change. Like, we can hit everyone and get them lined up to really start being proactive and preventative with their health. And I think that that's what we get so passionate about, is because quality of life is everything. And the one thing we can't get back is time, and we can't get back that quality time with our family, with our friends, with the people that we love. And so I think for all of us, when we're doing this and we're seeing lives changed and mamas feeling good, and when mamas feel good and they're happy, guess what? Their children grow up feeling good, because I always think about what we're doing in the household. whenever your gut is healthy, your brain is healthy. So you see people start being happy and stress coming down and they're more calm. It changes the atmosphere of the home. It changes those children as they grow up and as they go out. And so to know that we're doing that is just such a big deal because we're part of that. Angela, I want to ask you real quick. I want us to close out, but can you just share with me a little bit of what's your favorite thing about Plexus, the company, the people, whatever it could be? What is something that you just love about this business?
So many things. And initially I was thinking my answer was going to be one thing, but after listening to Roz and resonating so much with almost everything she just said, I have to say that, so I'm in HR for my company and I've been with my company for 15 years. And last year, 2020, in the HR world, just managing adults and COVID and the contact tracing and sick people and hospitalizations and all the things. And do you know how they rewarded us at the end of the year? They sent us backpacks. They sent me a backpack. Okay. It's a nice backpack, but they sent me a backpack for everything that we did in 2020. Plexus, for the same amount of effort, but for something that gives me life and passion and health and community and friends and purpose. I, have gotten a MacBook and a 5-day trip to Mexico and, a lucrative, stream of income to help, my family stay afloat. And it has just the hundreds of people that have joined, me along the way, me and my team along the way, who have all kinds of health wins. And sorry, my phone just rang. All kinds of health wins, and just, they're paying off debt themselves, and all just a backpack and this, so there's no comparison. There's no comparison. And that is my favorite thing. It's the joy and the passion and just being able to just help people. I know you said one thing, but I just, I looked at that backpack back there and I was like, I got to say all the things, right? Because it is so much more than what meets the eye. And it is worth every minute of effort. The journey is just so worth it.
Mm-hmm. That is so incredible. And I love, one of the things that I love about like our culture and our organization is we really are on mission, like for everyone to not only be taking the products, but basically not even to be left behind. Like we all know those that are here that are actually taking the products, that consistency is everything. And so we don't want anyone to be left behind. We want people to be taking it consistently over time, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. That's when you start seeing transformations. And then of course, as you go through the months and the years, it just all adds up. We all have those friends that are aging backwards and being able to be way more active, and their hair is growing back, all these different things that are going on that are just beautiful, beautiful things that we get to watch through that transformation. And I know for our organization, we have that desire for them not only to get started on the products, but to invite their friends and join them and do this with them, have that accountability. But at the same time, whenever they invite those friends in, they are actually blessed immediately financially. Like bottom line for us, just this month in October is a $400. Like you can join and make $400 and way above that just in your first month of being here. And what blesses me about that is that, number one, we're stepping into the holiday season, and I won't even go into my stories prior to Plexus how many Christmases I questioned, would we get to really have a Christmas, because we just didn't have the budget for it. So to be able to know that financially you're going to be blessed to be able to step into the holidays and whatever that looks like, but also you're going to be blessed to be able to continue taking your products. And so those things are such big deals. If you are a guest here with us tonight, I want you to ask the person, first of all, I know you're going to want to thank them for inviting you here, because I hope that you've just been encouraged, but ask them about that so that you can get started and you can continue to be able to take your products, but also have money in your pocket. And Roz, as we close out tonight, I just want to ask you kind of the same question that I was just asking Angela, and that is, what do you love about Plexus? You are muted. Let's see if we can unmute you. There you go.
It was my fault. There was people yelling outside here, so I was muting it so y'all didn't have to hear that. But you know, I guess I would really have to say the community of this company. I spent so many years fighting for that next promotion, for competing against the person in the cubicle next to me for, you know, for a leg up. You were always nervous about somebody else being, you know, advanced over you. I mean, for years that was what you did. You fought your way up the corporate ladder. There's no corporate ladder at Plexus at all. We actually share ideas. We actually speak on each other's calls. We actually help encourage each other, because across the board in Plexus, if we are all successful, the company is financially more successful. Therefore, we benefit more from a financial standpoint. That it's so opposite of corporate America. And so it's been so refreshing to actually be just dear friends with people who in corporate America would be competitors. You want these other lines, you want these other teams to be successful, because when we were all collectively successful, the financial bottom line point is raised and everybody makes more commission. It's just the neatest thing. And it's great too. I'm here in Dallas, Texas. That's where I'm located. And I have a team up in Boise, Idaho. And if they want to go to a meeting, they can attend anybody's meeting that's hosting one in all of Plexus. And those leaders will love on them like they are their own teammates. And likewise, the Boise, Idaho team, if they have some teammates down here in Dallas and I host a meeting, I will hug and love and encourage and build up every single person that they send my way. Because it's a collective effort. It's like a family effort, you know, it's like, you know, it takes a village. We have a massive village here, and it is it's been such a blessing. It's made this business so easy. That's why we can have these, you know, international teams. That's why we can, you know, love on people all across the United States. I mean, it's just been the coolest part of Plexus. And really, honestly, you know, when you get in your 40s, 30s, 40s, you know, you're raising kids, you're doing all the things, you don't have a lot of opportunities to make really deep, intentional relationships. But in a business like this, when everybody is in it to help others, you find like-minded women and men that you never even imagined that you would never have an opportunity to meet. And I have just made some of the dearest friends and the deepest relationships. And I've learned so much, so much from my coworkers and my friends in Plexus.
Wow, I love that. What a great note to end on. I love what you just shared in regards to friendships and culture and competition, and how you don't see that here. You did. I mean, all of that was golden. So thank you, Rozalyn. Thank you, Angela, for being with us. I want to thank all of you for being with us tonight. I hope that you were blessed. I hope that you were encouraged. For those of you that questioned if Plexus is the company for you, if online business is the way for you to go as far as industries, I hope that this proved to you the blessing of that, and that gut feeling you have. I really do hope that you will just jump in. One thing that Angela said at the beginning was, you just got to go all in to even start the experience to know. And so that's what I hope for you. Please get with your friend who invited you, give them a big virtual hug and say, thank you for inviting me. but let's get you started. Let's get you started on your way to not only great health, but just financial blessing, and for you to be able to bless so many others. So guys, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Angela, Roz, so appreciate you. That was so good. And I will see everybody later. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Melissa. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.